Chapter 1930 Death, Highway 1. Zhang Yi's mind was filled with thousands of thoughts. But soon, when he saw the tumbleweeds rolling across the wasteland in front of him, blown by the black wind, he had no time to think about those things. The tumbleweeds rolled in silence, making a low rustling sound, as if they were the only life in this wasteland. I don't know when, he suddenly appeared in a strange place. Everything just now disappeared. There was no huge, narrow underground passage, and no terrifying number of ghost walkers. The monster that looked like a dead baby was not with him, as if all this was just a nightmare. He seemed to be transported into another world all of a sudden. Zhang Yi, dressed in black devil armor and holding a huge blood-red devil knife in his right hand, stood in the middle of a long road that seemed to extend to the end of the world. This road looks particularly old, and the ground is full of cracks left over from the years, as if telling stories from the past. The horizon in the distance was blurred, and the darkness on the edge of the sky swallowed up all the light. It is really a road, a very long and seemingly confusing road. There were many cracks on the ground, a very standard asphalt road from dozens of miles ago. The road is wide and can accommodate 3 or 4 cars at the same time without appearing crowded. There was an endless wasteland all around, with almost no plants growing. Only the black and gray tumbleweeds rolled in the wind, making a low rustling sound, which seemed to be the only movement in this dead world. Looking further away, it was pitch black in every direction. This place seemed like the Western world after dusk and sunset, with only the road in the wilderness standing in front of Zhang Yi. He looked along the road, trying to find a glimmer of hope or a clue. There was a faint smell of decay in the air, which made people feel uneasy. Zhang Yi took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and calmed his mind. In this dead, silent world, the sound of his heartbeat seemed particularly clear, as if it was the only sign of life. He slowly squatted down, looking around vigilantly, and every slight movement was full of alertness. He stretched out his fingers and gently touched the ground. When the cold metal armor came into contact with the rough asphalt road, he felt a familiar, yet strange feeling. The intelligence system confirmed his guess. This was indeed an asphalt road. This is Mammon's dream. Zhang Yi muttered to himself. This thought made him frown slightly, but he soon regained his composure. Or maybe it's a dream created based on the memories of us humans. Fatty Sue's voice rang in his ears. Master Lao, this place looks so weird, but it does make me feel nostalgic. Oh, why? Zhang Yi raised his eyebrows and asked in confusion. Because there is no ice or snow here. Zhang Yi suddenly realized and looked towards Yuan again. Whether in front of me or behind me, there is a wide asphalt road that stretches as far as the eye can see, and all around me is a dead and silent wasteland. In this way, it is impossible to find it in the outside world. No wonder he felt nostalgic. Now is not the time to talk about this. This place is weird and unsafe. We have to find a way to leave here as soon as possible. Kant scolded Fatty Sue. Fatty Sue scratched his head embarrassedly. Hey, sorry, Mr. Kant. I just acted on impulse. In the shadow space, Kant stood in the middle of the crowd with his arms folded. Everyone looked at him, as if waiting for him to make a decision. Kant communicated with Zhang Yi through the communication channel. Anyway, we are out of danger for now. We must not go looking for them. There is a traitor among them. No one can contact you until we find out who wants to harm you. But for now, we still have to leave this weird place first. Zhang Yi asked, What do you think we should do now? Kant replied, There is only one road here. Let's go along this road first. Anyway, there is no better way now. Zhang Yi took a deep breath, his eyes determined. He still asked the smartest one among them. Xin, what do you think? Yang Xin glanced at Kant, and Kant smiled gently. Yang Xin nodded to Kant and smiled slightly, but she quickly thought about the action plan. Make plans before you act. Although we have just entered the demon's eye and don't have much information, we still have some. Now it is certain that this place is definitely related to the ancient civilization of Huaxiu State. Most likely it is the Qinling Dragon clan. I will check the ancient literature again, especially about Zhu Jiuyin's face. Also, Zhang Yi brother. Yang Xinxin paused and frowned slightly. For some reason, she felt something strange. She continued talking anyway. Aren't there ghost walkers sealed in your space? I suggest we study them and see if they are human. Maybe we will make some new discoveries. Zhang Yi slapped his forehead and said, Yeah, I almost forgot about this. Although a lot of the second gate was destroyed, a part of it was still preserved. Among them is the ghost walker trapped inside. Just as Zhang Yi was about to free up his hands to deal with those ghost walkers, he quickly drew out his magic knife and killed most of them with a few sharp slashes, leaving a few alive for Zhou Qir to study. However, in his different space, he also sealed a most troublesome thing, a clone of the Crow of Evil. When observing this guy, Zhang Yi's heart couldn't help but tremble. The Crow of Doom represents the military power, and its fighting style is close combat, so it is impossible to break through Zhang Yi's seal from the inner space. However, Zhang Yi could clearly feel that its aura became even stronger as other clones split. Perhaps it can be said that each of these things is an entity. No, all the ghostly leaders are just creations of Mammon's dreams. Therefore, every evil crow can split immortally, and each split will become more powerful. Zhang Yi was very lucky that when he landed in this area, no other evil crows or undead evil babies followed him. Otherwise, he would be in a really difficult situation. Zhang Yi was waiting for Zhou Qir's analysis results. Before that, he did not move forward, but opened his mind and observed his surroundings. Without any external interference, anyone trying to get close to him would be exposed. It is difficult to avoid this second hand of time. Kant, I always feel something is weird. Do you still remember why we came here? Zhang Yi started chatting with Kant at this time. No matter when, this best friend will give him spiritual comfort and guide him forward. Of course I remember, Kant said in a gentle and soothing tone. That is something we should do. Zhang Yi nodded. So there is no point in running away. Now that the opportunity has come, I will go all the way. No matter what, I must get that thing. Kant said, Lao Zhang, I have always believed in your ability, and I will spare no effort to help you complete any decision you make. You will get that thing. A dark light flashed across Zhang Yi's eyes. We must get it. Otherwise, we will face more dangers after we leave this place. Fatty Su interrupted and asked, Prisoner, what do you want to get? Zhang Yi smiled and said, Let's keep it secret for now. It's useless even if you know it. Zhou Qir has completed the analysis of the ghost walker's biological tissue and finally obtained such a result. Zhang Yi, this creature's genes are surprisingly similar to humans. Zhang Yi nodded. I should have guessed it a long time ago. The undead evil babies look like human babies, and those gray ghosts have also fought with the AO family. In other words, the ghosts are humans who succumbed to Mammon in ancient times. As for the undead infant's form, it was also due to the appearance of the 6 people that caused Mammon to have a similar dream, and thus was born in this form. And those crow soldiers might be the humans from before. Judging from their appearance, they might be the Yak or Awan tribe. Although this information was not of much use at the moment, Zhang Yi stayed here for a while, which was enough for him to completely adjust his emotions. It's time for us to get going. Zhang Yi looked around and saw that there was no other direction except a straight road. But Zhang Yi has never been a person who follows the rules. He raised his head and looked towards Kong, then immediately opened the dimensional door and flew towards Kong. Swish! After several shuttles, he landed steadily on the ground with both feet and was unexpectedly pulled back to the ground. As expected, it is the dream world. I cannot leave this area through the physical plane. Yang Xinxin said, There is a road here. We are trapped in the rules of Mammon, so we must go along the road to see what is there. Zhang Yi has no choice now. But he believed one thing, that is, Ling once said the words. Mammon was severely injured by the 4 horsemen and could not spare any energy to deal with them. Even if he encounters the ghostly leader born in his weak state here, Zhang Yi is still able to protect himself. If facing any ghost leader alone, At least Zhang Yi would not die in battle. So he made sufficient preparations and said, "Well, let's go along this road to see what monsters are ahead." He thought about it and directly took out a chariot from the alien space. Snowmobiles certainly cannot be used. What he used was a very advanced armed motorcycle. This is a model produced by Renault 5 years ago. It is black in color, has an extremely exaggerated and cool shape, 200 horsepower, and is known as a road beast. This was one of Zhang Yi's original collections, meaning the stock he collected from various warehouses in Shanghai. This is the first time it has reappeared in the world in 3 years. This straight road in front of me, which seems to be able to pass through, is simply tailor-made for this car. It would be a huge waste if I don't drive it properly. Zhang Yi got on his Renault motorcycle and pulled up the choke. The road beast made a loud roar, and this sound was enough to make a man feel his heart surge. "Brother, can you let me sit in your back seat?" Yang Xinxin suddenly made such a request. This made Zhang Yi stunned for a moment. He had always doted on Yang Xinxin because the little girl was his most trusted think tank, and she was very dependent on him and had no reservations towards him. It's just that it seems a bit strange to suddenly sit on the back of his motorcycle at such a dangerous time. But Zhang Yi thought about it and smiled. After all, she's still a little girl. Little girls generally like to seek excitement and then enjoy the fun of racing on the back seat of a motorcycle. Otherwise, why would so many naive little girls be seduced by yellow-haired guys riding motorcycles or even electric bikes? "Okay, come on up." Yang Xinxin immediately came out of the shadows, sat on the back seat of Zhang Yi's motorcycle, and wrapped her arms tightly around his strong waist. Zhang Yi adjusted the shape of the demon god armor so that Yang Xinxin would not be hurt. "Hold on tight," Zhang Yi reminded. A smile appeared on Yang Xinxin's face. Then she put her head against Zhang Yi and nodded gently. "Yeah, good brother." Zhang Yi stepped hard on the starter lever, and then the motorcycle rushed forward like a wild beast. It was a long wilderness, and there was nothing to see except tumbleweeds, wasteland, and roads along the way. This road seems to be as long as the country of. Zhang Yi drove for a long time, and suddenly, a sudden light spot appeared in their field of vision. The time here was about nightfall and the light was dim, so this light spot immediately attracted everyone's attention. "Lao Zhang, look," Kant reminded. "What is that?" "It looks like a tavern." The motorcycle moved forward quickly, and after the camera zoomed in, Zhang Yi could see the building clearly. It was just as Kant said. It was an old-fashioned-looking pub with a neon sign outside that actually read, "Hell Pub" in Chinese characters. Fat Sue said, "This is too obvious." "Damn, Hell Tavern, just hearing the name, you know it's not a good place." Everyone was ready for battle. A strange emotion emerged in Zhang Yi's heart, and his eyes were as deep as the sea. Yang Xinxin pressed against his back, her eyes dim, and it was unknown what she was thinking about. Zhang Yi twisted the accelerator hard, and the speed soared from 200 to 250. Swoosh. The motorcycle swept across the wilderness like a hurricane. This speed was extremely dangerous, but the thrill brought by the wind and the light and shadows around it that quickly fell backwards made people excited, and their adrenaline surged. The dimensional door opened. The motorcycle entered from one door, and then went out from another door on the front road. Zhang Yi didn't hesitate at all, and went straight past the tavern. He tries not to touch things that he doesn't know. Even a fool knows that there will be danger in that place. However, after Zhang Yi continued driving for more than 2 minutes, the pub reappeared on the roadside. Dear viewers, thanks for staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.